gravity because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your
parking lot at the time. So we were so in the moment.
Chris, thanks for joining us. First purchase.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 from Charleston, South Carolina, home of the Battery. It's the Eastern Conference champion, Chuck Battery.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was finishing chewing, so you didn't have to listen to me do that. You're very low.
Very low. I don't think that's going to be enough. You sound like you're in a, when I say faint, like
yes.
you put any gnats up, it doesn't matter how high you yell. No difference. Getting better.
It sounds like you just counted. Yep, hearing you. You got a little bit louder. There we go. There we go.
Yep. That's great. Thank you.
Perfect.
It is home sweet home for the Charleston Battery. What a magical campaign that they had a year ago. Eastern Conference champions return to Patriots Point. It's a place of bitter disappointment from November, one that opens a whole new horizon for the Battery. They welcome New Mexico United tonight. Joined by Jamie Watson, who's played on every level of the pyramid. Mike Watts on hand as well. And let's think back to that epic finale to the 2023 season. It came down to penalties, a late equalizer from Phoenix. It looked like it was in the bag for Charleston. Off the post, it was Phoenix that would win it.
Heartbreak for Charleston. They did everything to navigate an incredibly difficult road to the final, and ultimately losing in the most heartbreaking of fashions possible. That'll fuel the motivation in the offseason and will hopefully be a chance for them to right the wrongs at home tonight in the opener.
And that's why Ben Pierman went out and got all reliable. Not only Aaron Malloy, but also Graham Smith.
Well, two players that Ben Pierman will know well, two players that are really a coup for anybody, yet they go and get both of them. Aaron Malloy, tremendous player in the middle. Graham Smith, also a real leader for this group. And so for these two players, if they want to find their way back into the USL Championship final, those two are going to have to help lead this group and navigate the 2024 season to try to right the wrong from 2023.
No doubt. Now, this game is all about black and yellow because New Mexico United pays a visit. And Greg Hurst, a guy that at League One and championship level has a nose for goal.
And what he does mainly is in and around the 18 and especially in between the two posts. That's where he's at his most dangerous points. Capped off a great goal in the opener at home against Pittsburgh. A couple line-splitting passes. Wonderful finish as he rounds Dick and scores. It's a wonderful goal from Greg Hurst. Eric Quill will need more of that from his center forward tonight if they want to spoil the party at Patriots Point.
Well, as Wiz Khalifa once theorized, black and yellow, black and yellow. Charleston Battery are at home. Ben Pierman's side are no longer the walkover. They are the hunted. The Battery welcome New Mexico United. And it's coming up next.
Charleston is located in the low country of South Carolina.
The history here, it runs deep, and you can't imagine being anyplace else.
This place is magical.
And the Battery are flying into 2024, dropping the banner on a new Patriots Point landmark. Eastern Conference champions. And Lee Cohen and Rob Salvatore have turned this whole thing around. And Ben Pierman's side prepared for an encore. Joined by Jamie Watson, Mike Watts. How about we take a look at tonight's starting lineups? They are brought to you by Michelob Ultra. And for the Charleston Battery, this is a group making two changes, MD Myers and Emilio Icaza.
In the middle of the field is where their strength is. Malloy, talked about him as being the player of the watch. He'll partner with Ikaza. Those two will try to dictate the pace of play and have a big challenge against New Mexico. Segbergs has tons of pace on the outside. Markanik is a smart finisher, already a goal on the season as well. They will try to stay as high as they can and try to pin back the New Mexico United defense.
Conversely, this is a New Mexico side that has made a handful of changes. Any of them surprise you? They come in at 3-5-2 under Eric Quill.
Well, the first change, Alex Tambakis, who came into the match today leading the league with 11 assists, or 11 saves, excuse me. He starts out on the bench, so an opportunity for Shakes and goal. Talon Maple scored last week. Good performance on the road. And I think Zico Bailey shifting it to the middle with Micheletto and Akele in there. They provide a really formidable trio in there. That's where this team is at their best, when they control the pace of play in the middle. That'll be the challenge against Malloy and Ikaza. Keep an eye on that all evening long.
So New Mexico United trying to make a statement here, and well, what a statement hire they made after Troy Lassane and Zach Prince both depart town, now reunited at DC United. Eric Quill came in, the former North Texas head coach, has made a remarkable impact alongside his staff. You saw him in the background there. Conversely, this New Mexico team has seen unprecedented change. Jamie, you've been around this game long enough to know that you change 3, 4, 5 guys, there's a feeling out period. You change a dozen or more, the first few games are hardly going to be what you see at the end.
You're absolutely right. To that point, 10 players have made their debut for Charleston Battery in the first 2 games. I love that you brought that up because there's so much that's changing for this group. For Ben Perriman and his side, it's about the continuity building early. You're going to go through moments of adversity through a group. Look, the story of 2024 is going to unfold over the course of the next several months, but you get the early building blocks and foundations in moments like this. Your home opener, a lot of excitement, some changes to the group, some changes to the lineup. So can you handle those, roll with the punches, and be able to try to get a good result in the midst of all of that?
One of the few remaining attacking pieces. You saw Markanik there, did score in the final against Phoenix. This Charleston attack, you might think, where are the goals going to come from? No matter where Ben Perriman is coached, from collegiately at Michigan State to Detroit City to Memphis, now to Charleston, they've never had a problem finding them, and I doubt that starts now.
He's one of the brightest young coaches that's making their way up, and he did it at Memphis 901 for a long time, did it at the collegiate level, and this coach has really done it in past and previous situations, almost with one hand tied behind his back. Now he comes to the Charleston Battery last year, obviously gets him to the final, as we've alluded to multiple times, and will, because that is part of the story of this group as a team that did start to evolve under Perriman. Is this the next iteration? There is a lot of changes. Some really good players have departed and some valuable pieces to the puzzle. The likes of Augie Williams comes to mind, and a few others along the way. So this group will be different from the one that got to the final. So what does their story look like now? And starting here in this home opener, this will be really telling, I think, of where the season goes and how much they can make a fortress out of Patriots Point.
We've got our referees, and they await the teams to make their way out now as well. New Mexico United last year, 8th. A torrid run into the postseason, 46 points, their 4th playoff appearance in 6 years. And this Charleston team, they surprised last year. They are a marked team now. New Mexico stands over the ball for the first touch. Greg Hurst will do the honors. The New Mexico side still without Abu Dunladi, but also Christian Nava and Kalen Ryden. The countdown is on to a new season at Patriots Point, one with exceeding expectation. The Battery are back. New Mexico, the first touch tonight, and from Patriots Point, South Carolina, Charleston welcome New Mexico United. You know, it's one thing to have that opening day feeling. It's another thing to have your first game at home. The drive's a little different, the feeling's a little different, Jamie. I imagine over all your professional experiences, this day hits a little different.
Yeah, the first home opener, you can feel the extra vibrancy in the fans as they come to the ground for the first time. We got a chance to get a glimpse at the banner unveiling, added a new piece of commemorative collection with that, and there is a different feeling about the home opener, and so Charleston will look to feed off that energy for New Mexico United. They've got to try to do everything they can. There's an early foul on Hurst on Malloy, two players we talked about in the open. New Mexico United need to try to make sure that they don't do anything to give Charleston an early opportunity, an early chance for the fans to really get behind their side. That's what you got to do on the road sometimes. It doesn't always have to necessarily be pretty if you're New Mexico United. It just needs to be effective.
Number 67 in USL Championship play. And for the first time in 2024, we cue the smoke in Indianapolis. We're tied at 1 in minute number 35.
Great recognition on the ball into Augie Williams. We talk about the 1v1 opportunities. He's got one center back on his back. The ball is played into his feet. In his first touch, he's able to turn and put himself right into goal.
So give the assist to Max Schneider in his first Indy 11 match. Did not see the field the first 2 weeks. Tremendous service, and well, that's what Augie Williams has done for LA Galaxy 2 and the Charleston Battery before coming to the Indy 11.
Here's the critical thing about that pass in from Schneider. The defender, the center back, is on Williams' left hip. Max Schneider plays it to his right foot, telling him you can turn it that way. Takes his first touch, turns it, holds his center back on his back, and beats Vidiello.
This game has opened up tremendously because here comes Sacramento right back on the charge, headed away by the Indy 11. Not that it was boring in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but both teams getting a goal in about a 5-minute span. Blake almost blows a tire on that play.
This is a great game. Both teams came in, and they're both doing what they want to do. Now it's going to be which one blinks first.
Let's face it, Brad, Sacramento is more of a known commodity. We know they are one of the best teams in this league. We kind of think Indy might be. This is a real litmus test early for the Indy 11 at home this season. Handball, yep. Not intentionally, but Desmond did keep that ball in that spot with the inadvertent play of his hand.
You want to talk about excitement, though. As soon as Indy won that ball, it's that look down the field. How quickly can we get it into our attacking third?
Well, as Indy organizes the back, Brad, it's time for a little soccer 101 from you. How will Indy 11 play differently with Sean McCauley as their head coach versus Mark Lowry from the last 2 seasons?
Well,
Williams just couldn't find the right ball.
So here's the thing. When you're starting to talk tactics and you're starting to talk the way that you want to play, there's not a right way and there's not a wrong way. It's basically how can you maximize the talent that you've got. You take a look at what Indy was trying to do last year, and is very methodical, building from the back, a lot of possession. You know, we out-possess teams 70-30 sometimes, and it's touch, 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 and gradually move the ball up the field. Here, it's let's get them under. Let's get into the attacking third. Let's put teams under with a ball that's forward-minded, and then we can possess the ball up in the attacking half and just see what comes from that kind of pressure and play.
So for Augustine Williams, his first Indy 11 goal, 3rd different goal scorer this year for Indy. But he and Guenzati, both double-digit goal scorers last year, albeit for 2 separate teams. Sanchez, again, he created the opportunity last time for Sacramento. Gurr, the intended target. Difficult ball, Cicerone. Wow. Couldn't get anything to it.
Great touch by Cicerone, and again, Chapman Page is there.
Augustine Williams working away from Connor Donovan. Connor, a player we last saw when he played with OKC Energy back in their last season of 2021. Guenzati, the target, just couldn't get there in time. Indy with the answer from the opening own goal miscue by the Indy 11. Just like the score would indicate, neither team really has created an advantage yet in this game. Both teams have had Moments where they felt like they have controlled the tenor and tempo of this home opener for the Indy 11. Of course, this match brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments.
You look, the Republic is doing exactly what they want. They're bringing their wings up high with Sanchez and Gurr, and that allows their 3 front runners to stay centrally in the box. And this one here, Timmer as a center back, comes and overlaps Gurr. So they're just stretching the field, and the 11 back line has to work touchline to touchline to touchline to touchline.
Barbier trying to launch Williams. Donovan plays it well.
And you ask the difference, that's it right there. It's that look up the field first. Can we find a situation? Can we find an opportunity to send someone in?
Cicerone needing one more to join him. Gurr with a rocket. Deflected and lifted away. That was Gibson that got there secondarily at the edge of the 18.
What a strike.
Well, Gurr caught your eye before the match. You made it the point to say that guy can really play.
The thing you love about him is he's got that blue collar edge to him, and he's just the engine down that line. He gets back and he defends. He gets forward. I think they had 20 services last week. He had 12 of them, and every one of them is dangerous. He puts such pressure on a back line by joining the attack, and he allows the forwards to stay central. And when you've got guys like Cicerone and Eamon and Pirano, and Gurr can keep them in front of the goal, that's such an advantage.
Final minutes of this first half brought to us by Sherwin-Williams. Bring color to life with Sherwin-Williams. This match brought to life from the assist of Max Schneider. The goal from Augie Williams. Foul against Indy. We'll hear from Indy 11 head coach Sean McCauley coming up at the beginning of our halftime show. Of course, we'll have our look around the USL Championship and much more coming up at halftime. At this point, what do you think Coach McCauley's message to his Chargers would be at the break?
I think it's one of encouragement defensively. You're doing a great job of getting bodies to the ball, and when they switch fields, you're adjusting very, very well and compacting the space. And then you gotta like the fact that they go and they're looking to see if they can put that back line of the Republic under the gun as soon as they get their first touch.
On the flip side, any sort of change in tactics you would expect from Sacramento in half number 2?
I think a team that has been so strong, so consistently good, you're not looking to make a change. You might just come in there and say, hey, let's be really careful in that first transitional ball. Can we get some pressure to their back line that obstructs them getting the ball into Augie Williams right away?
Ball stays in play the entire time. Then a foul. Nope. Offside flag. My apologies. I think Indy thought that service had actually gone across the touch line, but it seemed to be that the offside flag against Ammon was what was up. Thanks to our friends at McGowan Insurance Group. They and Auto Owners Insurance teamed up to make tailored insurance policies for your family. Odell will launch. Sun obviously is set here as we approach halftime, so it'll be an issue for Vitiello in goal. Foul whistled against Pirano of Sacramento. Even with a couple of goals, I don't think we're looking at a lengthy amount of stoppage time at the end of half number 1. Blake couldn't work his way around Nick Ross. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. Yep. linesman immediately taps his chest, says, my fault.
Yep. Well, he was already thinking in the second half.
That was an easy call to quickly reverse. It's early in the season for those gentlemen as well. Great touch by Williams. Lindley lifts it for Williams, but Vitiello read the play quicker than anybody else did.
Yeah, but you got to love that thought. Love that thought.
Top net mind in the league last year was Vitiello. As part of this, again, overall tremendous season that the Republic had a year ago. Before that, it was that dramatic run in the Open Cup.
Oh, my goodness. Vitiello is on fire.
Schneider, good job to track back and just get a boot to that to break up the connectivity that Sacramento was developing. Blake trying to work his way around Timmer. How about Stanley charging all the way forward for Indy? Great fluidity in the Indy 11 attack so far.
Love it. And like-minded, hey, when we get that ball, let's go.
And again, this is a group that, again, you see some similar names, but it's still a group that's kind of learned how to play together. The preseason results were tremendous. 5 wins and a draw. That draw was the first time out against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And as expected, not a lot of stoppage time. 2 minutes is what we will have in addition to the opening 45.
It's a good step by Tyler Gibson as that ball, as Cicerone pulls that ball back a little bit. Gibson steps up to that ball just to make sure that any kind of look at the goal is going to be obstructed.
Jack Blake just had one touch, get a little too far away from him. Just how different is it for Jack kind of playing a line forward, if you will, tonight?
When you're scoring, you got that hot hand. You're excited to be closer and get more touches near the goal.
Again, that's not a save, but that's a tremendous play by Vitiello. The way he is reading the game is tremendous for Sacramento from the back. Because if he is on his heels, that is a problem. That ball that was just sent in.
1 minute. 1 minute. Great touch, great turn.
This is Ammon trying to cut it back. Chapman Page gets in the way. O'Brien on the hustle and draws contact.
Watch that ball and he just turns his right foot in, takes us with the outside of his right foot, and just a fluid little turn right to goal.
O'Brien yet to get up for the Indy 11, just though looks like doing a little relacing here. And while he does that, let's thank our friends at Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered. O'Brien doing his best to kill off this half for the Indy 11 as we speak. Of course, tonight's opening game of the Indy 11 home season presented by our friends on Wish TV. Of course, following the game, make sure you watch Wish TV, your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. Dying embers of half number 1. The 1-1 score, a fitting kind of way for this one to come to its conclusion through 45 minutes. And we're going to be joined momentarily by the head coach of the Indy 11 in Sean McCauley. Perhaps, perhaps not.
I think both teams are comfortable, happy. The game plans are working. You know, you take a look at how the Republic is playing, and they are getting opportunity after opportunity after opportunity by sending their wings high and moving that ball across the field. And Indy is doing a great job in transition to be dangerous in getting that ball forward.
We'll try to track down Coach McCauley later in the halftime show. Augustine Williams gets his first of what we hope are many goals in front of the Brickyard Battalion this season. That followed an own goal against the Indy 11. We're tied at 1 through 45 minutes on Wish TV and ESPN+.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
On a chilly night in Indianapolis, it is the home opener for the Indy 11. It's one of the more quality sides in the league. It is a 1-1 draw so far between Indy 11 and Sacramento Republic. Thanks for joining us on both ESPN Plus and Wish TV. This is one of 10 matches taking place across the USL Championship today. Again, 3 matches have already taken place. 6 follow this one. We've also got Team of the Week to talk about, and Brad, for the second time in as many weeks, Indy has not one but 2 players in the Team of the Week. In week number 1, Yunus Boudadi a part of that. Jack Blake and Aiden Stanley this time around.
Yeah, Jack Blake's been fantastic in creating opportunities, and you look at that ball that Aiden Stanley sent across for Douglas Martinez Jr., just a fantastic ball. Can easily see both of those guys on that.
Kind of a good sign. If you're getting 2 players in the Team of the Week every week, we think it might be a good year for the Indy 11. You see Frankie Yallop as the coach of the week for Monterey Bay. Indy will see Monterey Bay coming up in Central California. That one coming up in early May. So here's the schedule and scores from earlier. Hartford Athletic, we expect them to be significantly better this year. That's an indication. A 1-0 win. This is to some degree surprising and some degree not. Every year Pittsburgh tends to lose some talent. You go, well, it's Bob Lilly. They'll figure it out. Hounds are 0-3 to start the year. They get beaten by Louisville 3-1 today.
And the thing is, when Pittsburgh loses, it's typically a 1-0 loss because they just grind things out defensively. So to give up 3, and I know one was late against the run of play as they were pushing for the equalizer, but that's rare to see Pittsburgh give up 3.
And Detroit City, that will be here next week. They were 2-1 winners over an improved Loudoun United squad. And those are the finals that have taken place this afternoon. Everything else is this evening, including matches that are coming up a little bit later on this week. Now, you see the TBD next to Lou City and Indy 11. It's not TBD. It's April 6th. And the reason that match is so important, well, A, it's LIPAFC, duh. But it's also on CBS Sports. It is the first national television match. Of course, this year the USL partnering with both ESPN, CBS Sports Galazo. But national television, Mike Watts, Devin Kerr will have the broadcast. 4 o'clock Saturday, April 6th, Lou City, Indy 11 at Lynn Family Stadium. What a moment for this league.
Yeah, I think it speaks to how the USL has grown in quality and in the fans' desire to watch games. Not only the ESPN2 stuff that we've seen grow, but now CBS.
We'll see if the Indy 11 can warm those fans up in half number 2. Tied at 1 through 45 minutes. We're back in a moment as you're watching on Wish TV and ESPN Plus.
Go get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
You've given us a foundation to be proud of. We build on this now. This is it now, gents. This is us from now on.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Yeah, we running the game. We're coming in strong, and you will not forget it. We're here to take you on, and we can fight and we defend it. We never looking back. We focused on the road. We didn't come to play, and now we never let it go. Yeah, we want to take it higher.
Follow up in. Louisville level in the 70th. He puts it in. Indy 11 leads on the road.
Yeah, we want to take it higher.
Looks great.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me.
First of 17 league home matches, hopefully more in the playoffs for the Indy 11 as they host, again, perennial contender Sacramento Republic. We are tied at 1 here at halftime. Second half action is not too far away from downtown Indianapolis. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hunter with you tonight on both ESPN Plus as well as Wish TV. Let's talk about a little news and notes around the USL Championship. First of all, Brooklyn Football Club will join the USL Championship starting next year. Of course, there is one new team and one not new team at all, the Indy 11, that have been added to the schedule. Rhode Island FC being the new one. North Carolina FC returning from League One after winning that championship a season ago. U.S. Open Cup play began for the USL League 1 and 2 teams last week. And again, you'll hear us talk about this a lot the next couple of weeks. Indy 11, Lou City. CBS Sports will have that one for you coming up on Saturday, April the 6th.
Yeah, that's a great one to debut that relationship with CBS.
All right, let's now get just a few feet away. Head coach Sean McCauley is joining us now. He gives us the thumbs up. I'm sure that's how you felt about Augustine Williams' goal. Overall, coach, just your thoughts on what you saw in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased for Augustine that he's got his goal because he's had a few chances and not sort of put them away. But, you know, and he's making really good runs. So, you know, if we can find him again in the second half, hopefully we'll get the same result. And in total, in the overall performance, I thought first 10 minutes we went toe-to-toe with them, and then we started to settle down and pass the ball a little bit. But so did they, and they're a good team, and they got a goal that was, I think, fortunate from their point of view. But they are dangerous, and we've got to make sure that we manage that in the second half and then impose our style on them and try and get the winner.
All right, you were back out here quickly from halftime, so it was a brief message. What'd you tell the guys?
We want them to keep going, and I think we need a little bit better care in the final third. You know, that last pass, we've got to certain areas and maybe just giving it away instead of taking a little bit more care. And then defensively, we need to make sure that sort of in certain areas of the field, especially down this their left-hand side, our right-hand side, that both Josh and Cam work together in managing both the outside, the wing-back and Cicerone.
Sean, thank you very much. Talk to you post-match.
Thank you.
Sean McCauley, head coach of the Indy 11, joining us. Thoughts on what coach just had to say?
I think you identified it well. You take a look at the ball into Augie Williams that led to the goal. That opportunity has been there a couple of times even after that. They send so many bodies forward. They're so dangerous forward that they can get exposed if you can find that one ball out to the feet of your center striker.
What do you think the difference is in half number 2? Is it a mistake? Is it a tactical change? What decides this one?
I think it comes down to a mistake. You take a look. Both teams are playing well. Both teams are staying to their game plan. So there's two parts of it. which team is going to make the mistake, and can you exploit it? Can you take advantage of it? Because that's part of it. Nobody's perfect out here. There's going to be mistake, mistake, mistake. Who makes that critical mistake, and then who's able to jump on it?
We'll take this quick timeout. Second half action is not too far away. A goal in it for each side so far. 1-1, Indy 11, Sacramento Republic. Second half action yours next on Wish TV and ESPN+.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
When your cat's me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse,
and you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you. You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
Registration is open for Indy 11 camps.
It's a brand new day.
Our camps provide fun times, tickets, and gear to take home. Indy 11 camps feature top-end coaching from professionals as well as chances to meet the pro players. Scholarships are also offered for camps. Register now at indy11.com/camps.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. And by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Your Central Indiana Ford dealers are a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Back in downtown Indianapolis. Travis Phelps amongst the great longtime Indy 11 fans checking out tonight's action. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hunter with you here on ESPN Plus and Wish TV. Second half, both teams are ready to roll.
Travis Phelps got a little bit of camera time in the Memphis game, too. You got to see him down there.
You're saying he's 2 for 3 in terms of appearances on USL Championship television?
Yes, sir.
And we have a player down for the Sacramento Republic.
And no doubt where this ball was going to go. They had Sacramento had 5 players from the center where the ball was on this side of the field. You knew they're going to knock it back. You knew they're going to drive it into this and see if they could overload Indy with bodies and come down with that ball.
Felipe comes up a little bit worse for wear for Sacramento, but it is a restart for the Indy 11. But the offside flag goes up against Augie Williams. Indy at home next week against Detroit City. That's a team they finished the home schedule against last year, did Indy. He played Detroit early in the season in Hamtramck a season ago. Won that one 1-0. On a day where winds were gusting to 40 and 50 miles an hour. Richie Ballard hit across literally out of the stadium in that match. Wind's not a factor tonight. Just the overall chill of a late March evening. Gurr by his lonesome.
What a ball.
Odom. Again, couldn't get to it cleanly. Just has to punch it away. Cicerone lifts it up and over the crossbar.
God, the thing is, he's so dangerous with either foot. He can take it to the right and he can cause you problems. He can take it down to the left and cause you problems.
I mentioned this, 7 goals in his previous matches against the Indy 11. 17 goals against everyone last season, including a hat trick against the Indy 11 when these two teams played in Northern California in early May.
Every year we see him, he's just better and better and better.
Overlapping run, Ammon. Cut off nicely. Was it off of Ammon last? No. It is a corner kick brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. 3 goals so far for Ammon. 2 and a 2-2 draw in the season opener against the team that beat Sacramento last year in the Western Conference Final in Phoenix. And the lone tally in the 1-0 victory in South Florida 7 days ago. Bending ball in.
Good win.
Barbier got there first. Memphis is the team that Sacramento plays next week. Memphis is actually off this week. They and Tulsa both have the weekend off. Memphis is going to be without a couple of key players, as both Oscar Jimenez and Hakeem Ward were shown red against the Indy 11 last week. Sacramento will start worrying about that about 40 or so minutes from now. Calling Schneider. He had the assist for the Indy 11 earlier. Schneider from Cologne, Germany, which I'm sure, Brad, you remember is the sister city of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Of course I remember that. You gonna try and fool me with trivia?
I was not trying to fool you, sir. I was complimenting your clear knowledge of it.
Well, I do have 2 wicked trivia questions, Sacramento and Indy, for you.
Good ball to find Augie Williams for the Indy 11. Felipe, the nice tackle to at least slow the Indy 11 momentum. Good back and forth in the midfield.
Pressure.
Sports This Match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on all of your favorite Ford vehicles. Team's starting to get players loose. No team's about to use a substitution just yet. Beautiful back heel by Ammon. Better recovery by Chapman Page.
Yeah, he's just on another level tonight. He is a step ahead in his mind.
And again, this is an Indy 11 back line playing, at least in the starting capacity, without stalwarts like Budati and Deespe. The blast heads up in the BYB. Of course, this match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care, simply delivered. You got some trivia for me, my friend?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to give it little crumbs out for you. I'm not going to give you all the clues right away. So, this guy was born in Sacramento.
Well, thank you for telling me that. I'm sure that applies to millions of people over the years. Williams.
Good ball.
Good switch to the attack. Lindley. Ian Blake Teammates for his second year couldn't connect the dots on that one.
Great pressure from Augie Williams on that because it allowed Aiden Stanley to stay home. Okay, his son played against Indy 11.
Born in Sacramento, son played against the Indy 11. That narrows it down a bit.
Right.
I don't think the answer is Sean McCauley we just showed on screen. I might need some more information when the...
He was a Major League Baseball player.
And his son played against the Indy 11?
Yes.
Okay.
And he was born in Sacramento.
Okay. Do I get anything else, or is that it? Is that the end of the clue?
He was a pretty good pitcher.
Foul against Schneider. That is Nick Ross that took a tumble. Just a chance to slow things down and get reset just a bit.
And get bodies forward.
Ross in his third year with Sacramento, 6th in the USL Championship. Actually, he scored a goal against the Indy 11 back in 2021 when he played for El Paso Locomotive, did Ross. Toronto able to recover. He joined Sacramento in mid-season from San Antonio. Did Toronto last year. Good job just to get in the way that time by Aiden Stanley. Williams applying pressure, but Vidiello has been immune to that so far tonight. Bad pass by Sacramento. And Schneider could not match his same accuracy of finding Williams from half number one. Any further thing on the trivia, Brad, or am I on my own from this point on?
I'm trying to remember the team that his son played for against us, and I think his dad was a Cub and a Philly, I think.
Dick Ruthven was a Cub and a Philly.
That is the gentleman that was born in Sacramento.
And his son is Tyler, correct, that played in our league?
Yes. He was a tough, tough defender. Sanchez. Every time Cicerone gets that ball, Sanchez is just on his horse, looking to make an overlapping run or a through run in behind and in between Chatton, Page, and O'Brien.
Stanley making a run, but Gibson couldn't find a way through.
You know, but the nice part about that for Stanley is he pulls Gurr back another 20 yards.
You can make an argument for Callum Chapman Page as the man of the match for the Indy 11 at this point.
He's got my vote right now.
Even though Williams has the goal. By the way, I referenced Yunus Budati and Adrian Deespay. They both have received the white courtesy phone because they both have made their way to the Indy 11 bench. That's going to be a foul against Jack Blake. Played through Jared Timmer trying to track that one down. Quick restart taken by the former Indy 11 man. So Budati and Deespay. Again, Deespay was an all-league level performer a season ago. Shows you the depth the Indy 11 have. How about this? On stride. Augustine Williams. Can he get it? No!
Oh, my goodness.
No, he slides it just to the right of the side netting.
Look at that. That ball comes to Cam Lindley. A non-typical ball by Jack Gurr across the box, right to Lindley. And look at that ball into space. A little bit of a tail that moves Augie Williams further away from his defender.
Augie, the second native of Sierra Leone to play for the Indy 11. Brad, since you were in a trivial mood with me, do you remember the other native of Sierra Leone to play for the Indy 11?
Robbie?
Close. not Robbie, but you're close. Had two first names. Deflected. A little real estate bought by the Indy 11. Timmer couldn't track it down. Blake makes the supporting run to help out Williams.
That's one of the things we saw from Jared Timmer when he was here, this relentless pace in recovery runs.
And that's going to be whistled as an infraction against Blake. Timmer offering his hand and Jack not taking it just yet. Well, what sticks with me about Jared Timmer, of all the great things we have said about him during his 2 years of playing for the team, and I had a chance to call a handful of his matches at Butler as well. I think back to our buddy Paul Snape when he goes, I could put Jared at any of 11 positions and he would figure it out. He played a bit of outside back, a little bit of center back, a little bit of a holding midfielder for the Indy 11. He just played. Wherever you put him, he will figure it out. Had a great debut season last year in Sacramento. And talking with him early this week for Soccer Saturday, seems to really be enjoying life in Northern California. Fan Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. And Chapman Page is in a bit of a spot of bothering, and he may be coming out anyway. Indy 11 going to make a wholesale substitution here, as they've got three players in uniform and lined up. Two of them you know well because they played here last year, in terms of Yunus Boudadi and Adrian Dizpe. The third literally was officially announced as joining the team yesterday. Tega Ikoba, one of two loans from Portland Timbers. That is Tega on your screen, that is wearing number 17. Now the other loan, Hunter Salt, the backup goalkeeper, he was actually recalled by Portland yesterday. Not sure if that's short term or exactly how that will play out. Chapman Page may be done for the night regardless.
Well, that is 60 minutes well spent for the boys in blue. He had a battle the entire match and did a terrific job.
It was O'Brien that will come off for Boudadi. It is Chapman Page. He'll be replaced by Dizpe. And Ikoba is more of an attacking player. See if that's maybe Guenzati or maybe Williams. It'll be Tyler Gibson. So what that does is that bumps Jack Blake back to his more normal midfield role for the Indy 11. And again, this may be, Brad, the deepest Indy 11 team that we have seen.
Deepest and biggest. There's just so much size on this roster.
Well, let's face it, there are really 6 or 7 starting caliber kind of backs or defensive players for the Indy 11. So you bring, you take off 2 guys in terms of O'Brien and Chapman Page that have been really good for you tonight. And you bring 2 of your best players from the team that made the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. They come in to play the last 30 minutes.
Right. It's incredible.
Boudadi, Dizpe, their second year with the team. Dizpe, the first Cuban native to play for the Indy 11. He was an absolute find. He was brought in just as the season started last year. Charging forward, Guenzati. Great tackle away, and nothing comes of that. Goal kick coming for Sacramento. This portion of the match brought to us by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. We've not had a chance to talk to Seba on our broadcast yet, or frankly on Soccer Saturday in a while. I need to ask about the new hairstyle for Seba. At the edge of the 18, trying to dig in, nothing there. Indy 11 player takes a tumble. Both teams have players going to the turf, and that will be the foul. And Cicerone the guilty party on that one.
Great counterattack from the Republic.
What has caught your attention about Schneider so far in this match, Brad?
Hey, for a guy that hadn't played minutes for the team this year, how calm and comfortable he is. He's just seamlessly fit in.
And again, you've got 3 guys that have been so good at this level in front of him that it kind of took an injury up top, or I'm sorry, international duty up top to get him onto the field. And now you go, okay, how do you get him off the field if you're Schneider? Again, the depth that this team has is, again, there's an obvious change in terms of philosophy, new head coach, but roster-wise, it's very much a different roster, say spots 14 through 20 than it was a year ago. When Zadi got ahead to it, off the crossbar. Didn't get back to Blake in time to settle. And Stanley will recycle.
That's one of the things that Gonzadi is so good at. Put it in the box, give him one touch, he'll find a way to flick it, head it, touch it, toe poke it, past the keeper.
I go back to Aiden Stanley, who makes that play and draws the corner kick brought to us by Wilson Kehoe-Winningham. He was unique in the fact that he was the player that was signed and announced kind of right after Mark Lowry elected not to come back as the head coach of the Indy 11. And in talking with him, he didn't seem bothered by it. He was like, yeah, we're going to be just fine. And I can see why, given the way he plays. How he plays works for any head coach, and for any style.
Right.
Schneider trying to block the passage of Vitiello. No problem. It is a foul. He was knocked to the turf. So Vitiello has been his typical splendid self.
He's great. He's a great keeper.
He did not play the first game of the season. Jared Mazzola got the start in the 2-2 win again, or 2-2 draw against Phoenix. Really have not had a chance to see, other than say Augie Williams, kind of see Indy pick up the high press. We see it here. Sacramento breaks it rather quickly. The Republic have yet to use a substitution. Indy has already used 3. Other players available if needed. Elliot Collier, Carson Henderlong, Macca King of the full-fledged pro variety for the Indy 11. Nikola Ivetić, Maverick McCoy, and backup netminder Caden Crawford, all of the Academy variety for the Indy 11 tonight. Foul against Stanley, which draws the ire of the Indy 11 bench.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, Pirano is checking back to that ball, and Stanley's just got his arm a little bit out.
Good run going here. Ball played across and get all the way through it. You know, I could describe it to you, or you could take a look at Jack Gurr putting his hands on his head.
Great serve.
Yep.
Great serve through the 6.
Because that put everybody in a tough spot and just couldn't find a teammate from the Sacramento perspective. Stanley working around Ammon.
It's a great pressure from Ammon.
Nikoba trying to get past Donovan. Donovan wins the foot race to get there. Good closeout by the newest member of the Indy 11. Tonight's match brought to part by Hyatt Place and Hyatt House in downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. I like the SpongeBob-inspired chant by the Brickyard Battalion we just heard there. Foul against the Indy 11. Williams guilty of the nut. Both teams scoring goals in about 5 minutes of each other in half number 1. An own goal for Sacramento, created by the great run to the byline by Aldair Sanchez. Indy answered. Max Schneider to Augie Williams to level this match at 1. Indy a win and a loss in their brief 2-game schedule so far. A win and a draw for Sacramento Republic. And as this match goes along at some point, the business decision, a draw is a little bit better for Sacramento in terms of having to travel so far away from home early in the season. We're not to that point just yet.
No, it's such a great game. It's still there for both teams.
Nakoba on the full sprint. Timmer with a handful of jersey. It's not a foul until he gets whistled.
It's clever. Timmer hit it pretty well.
We're going to give Paul Snape full credit for that. He's coached for 5 years at Butler University. Rodrigo Lopez will enter momentarily for Sacramento. On the cross, Williams couldn't get there in time. Just enough pressure by the Republic.
Almost had an opportunity to slide Budati through.
Stanley widens out and receives the ball from Barbier. Jonathan Ricketts also makes his way towards the 4th official for Sacramento. There's Guenzotti. Any real difference in the role you see Guenzotti playing for this team compared to what he did a year ago, Brad?
When you took a look at where he was effective last year, it was in the second half of the season when he was allowed to play more in the box. In that first half, he was coming all the way back for the ball, sometimes in the middle of the field. And when you move a guy that is that great of a goal scorer 30 yards away from the goal, it's going to take a little bit of time to find his rhythm. Later in the season, he's making slashing runs into the box, and they're finding him. And you see that same kind of systemic play from him right now. He's forward more. They're looking to find him in the box. You look at this one ball that came in just now, and it's a great turn to put himself into a dangerous position.
To say Rodrigo Lopez would be a franchise legend in Sacramento would be an understatement. He was a part of their original team in 2014. Tonight is his 350th career appearance at any level. He turns 37 in May. So Lopez comes on for Luis Felipe. Pirano is done for the night as well. Jonathan Ricketts, one of the rare new faces this year for Sacramento. He was with RGV before joining Sacramento. He comes on. So 3 substitutions remain for Sacramento, 2 for the Indy 11. A little space to work with here. Blake. Not enough in it, says the referee. It would not have been a penalty, but it would have been just a step or two outside of the 18, and a very confident flick that time from Barbier to Deespay. By the way, this match brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers. Your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Ricketts makes a difference. One of his first touches of the match. And Deespay shown yellow. That is our first card of the match. And it comes out in the 71st minute. Deespay never one to shy away from physicality.
Right. And I think in that one, he was clean and getting to the ball first, but I think he just wrapped up Cicerone's legs and pulled him down.
First yellow of the season for Deespay. Only Chapman Page has been shown 2 in the first 2 matchups. Fans, eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Stanley.
Yeah, great close. Great close. Gurr's looking to tuck that ball right in behind the back line.
Gurr sends it in. Barbier skies it. Stanley again got to that one too. I would put him in that Chapman Page category in terms of those that have had a very positive impact for the Indy 11 this evening.
Yeah, and he's had his hands full as you know, much as the Republic sends their wings forward, he's had to deal with that.
Opportunity here for Gurr. Blast off and heads up about 8 rows up in the BYB. That play started though. We've talked about, hey, let's give some defenders some credit for Indy 11. That was all Lee Desmond making that read for Sacramento that made that shot possible for Gurr.
Right, and a great ball across the top of the box for Gurr. And you got to credit Jack Blake from breaking off from the middle to come and press it just enough to put a thought in Gurr's head.
Gurr, the defender originally from Newcastle upon Tyne. Played at Aberdeen in Scotland before joining the Republic. Not enough in it. It has had to be clear and obvious going in both directions in and around the 18 tonight.
Love that thought. Wenzati took a look over his shoulder, saw Augie Williams was trying to turn and get that ball to him in one touch.
Here's Timmer. Combination play here by Sacramento. Just couldn't land that last ball. Throw in, not a corner coming here for the Republic. It was Ross's run that again created necessary space for the visitors. Mark Briggs picked up win number 50 last week in terms of regular season play. Koba trying to latch on to Williams. Vidiello.
That's confidence.
Yep.
That is confidence. Augie Williams bearing down on you.
USL Championship goalkeeper of the year a season ago. You can see why and how he has played tonight.
Look how wide Gurr gets. Aiden Stanley keeps checking his shoulder just to make sure, one, he can pop in and hold that space in case it gets to Ricketts, but then is also able to reach Gurr if it comes all the way across.
Playing so wide, you don't even see him on your screen. He's not close to being in the camera shot, but the ball gets played in an open spot. Now you see him. Ricketts on the overlap. Blast away, hits an atom ball at Yana Godel. Let's face it, neither keeper has had to do much of the spectacular here in half number 2. This has been primarily played in between the 18s over the course of the last 30 minutes. Too strong on that one.
It's a good ball. Good ball from Odell right into Williams' feet.
Wenzati's just off. Just off.
Hey, you mentioned Frankie Lopez has been with the team since 2014, so that leads into your second trivia question. This player also played for Sacramento in 2014.
Can I give you 2 answers?
Yeah.
Justin Bronner to Manja Vukovic?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. Your second clue, his brother played for Indy 11.
Stanley. And a late foul is whistled on the push.
Relax, man. Relax.
Give me a further clue if you don't mind.
Both played at IU.
Well, that would be the Thompson twins,
That's correct. You got to be careful here. You got a little bit of fatigue setting in, and so this is that one where you might miss a mark, you might miss a runner.
Of course, this match is brought to us by Johnson Controls. Johnson controls the power behind your mission. Lopez looking to move up the all-time league assist charts. He's already in the top 10. Elliot Collier has made his way to the Indy 11 bench. It's a role he will fulfill for a good chunk of the season. Ball sent in. Dangerous, but lifted up and over the bar. Let's talk more about Elliot Collier. Of course, Elliot, kind of like Cam Lindley, a guy that, and Tyler Gibson too, played for the team years ago and now is back. For Elliot, he was here at the tail end of the 2018 season. And this will be his first chance to play in this building as a member of the Indy 11. Native of New Zealand that played his college soccer at Loyola of Chicago. And again, I think he'll be the last 15 to 20 minute guy in terms of up top for the Indy 11. You find a goal in the dying minutes, he will be that guy for this team. And he's about to make his way to the fourth official.
Yeah, and you couldn't read lips and certainly couldn't hear what assistant coach Gabe Zapponi was saying to him, but he backed into Elliot Collier because Elliot's going to serve as a target player, and he used his body to show Elliot, hey, when that ball comes in, turn that center back and look for opportunities to go to goal.
Max Schneider picks up a yellow card, his first in an 11 uniform, so he and Dees Pay both sitting on yellows. Ricketts draws the foul.
One moment.
Collier has appeared as a substitute in each of the first two matches, totaling 42 minutes. There's a handball there. Yep, he got the whistle. Hammond. Burton played it with his hand.
Great ball from Timmer to find Eamon right there at the top of the box. You got to make sure that you're denying that ball in. One thing I remember about Collier's time here is for a guy of that size to be as quick as he is and to be as technical as he is just amazed me.
At 6'6", he's not just a target player. He's pretty skillful with his feet as well. Spent some time with the Chicago Fire. In fact, he was loaned from the Fire to Indy in the last third of the season. Player is down for the Indy 11. It's Stanley.
Aiden, do you need the trainer? No?
And frankly, I did not note what happened to him to cause that.
Evan, you ready?
I'm told we will see immediately what caused it. It was Ricketts stepping on him, which was not intentional, but was the end result. Schneider's night is done. Well done in his Indy 11 debut. And Elliot Collier back on the pitch for the Indy 11. Collier turned 29 a month and a day ago. Indy has one more substitution that they can work with. Sacramento about to get another sub on the pitch. Rafael Haragi about to enter. Foul whistle against Indy. We've been sitting on 1-1 for about 50 minutes of soccer at this point. It would be quite the accomplishment for the Republic to pull a victory out of this one, knowing again they did it last week in Miami. Williams. Good enough by Timmer.
Yeah, Jared Timmer stepping right into that lane. If Augie Williams is able to get that touch into space, he's gone.
So Jack Gurr will come off, and Brad, he was every bit as good as advertised coming in.
Impressive player. He's one of those guys that's a game changer. You know, he stays out so wide. He makes your outside edge defender have to make decisions all game.
Williams gets tied up. Little back and forth here, but not sure what might come out of this. I don't think anything more than a talking to. Could be wrong about that. Well, we wait for this conversation. And card will be shown to Jared Timmer. So first yell of the match goes against Sacramento. And the player we know the best of that group in Jared Timmer. Tonight's match brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. And talk with Jared this week. I think he said the ticket count was at 12 that he had for tonight.
That's not good for a guy that spent so much time in Indy.
Well, obviously, he is also a native of Southern Michigan. So he's got family and a few college friends that were going to be here tonight to watch him play. Well, frankly, this one is kind of bogged down a little bit. What could potentially change it here?
Well, I think fatigue is set in a little bit. You know, when you look at what Sacramento has done is sideline to sideline, looking for those overlapping runs when they can find that space out and that pocket out wide, you know, that wears on you after 84 minutes. And for Indy, that transition game, you know, it's look, can we find Augie's feet? Can we get that ball up forward? That's still going to be there for him. How much left does he have in the tank?
Good flick forward here. Sean McCauley telling his guys to press forward. Offside flag went up. The attempt to play that ball to Ammon, he was in an offside position. Even though he never touched it, he attempted to play it, hence flag goes up. And Odell will take this opportunity to send some more numbers forward for the Indy 11 fans. Show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today. Not surprisingly, at 6'6", Collier is the target of that long-distance dedication. Ricketts steers that one out of play. There's been no late-night magic yet for the Indy 11 this season. All 4 of their goals scored so far have come in the first half of matches played. Throw in coming for Indy.
Yeah, running out of space. I mean, there's so many players here from the Republic. It's got to be a ball that gets in and quickly moves across the field.
Of course, this match brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction management, and investments. Stanley somehow slides that through. And that'll be a corner kick brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
What a ball. What a ball. Aiden Stanley, 86 minutes into the game, quick little touch, gets some separation and drives that ball across.
Stanley, the native of Columbia, Illinois. Cam Lindley will track this one down.
I think he's got 25 people here tonight. You want to talk about ticket counts?
Is there an award for that for the
there is
every match?
There is, yeah.
Lindley sends it in. Vitiello never could get to it, but he didn't have to. And he quickly resets. Guenzotti trying to carve out some space.
And that was one of those ones you take a look. Vitiello was coming off his line. If Guenzotti's able to get a little flick on it.
It's one of the I wouldn't even say it was a poor read. It was one of the few missteps that he has made all night. By the way, Wheat will be coming on here for Sacramento. Lopez trying to lead the charge. Back post. And there's the follow-up. It's steered wide. That was by far the best look for either side in half number 2. And frankly, one that Sacramento should have cashed in. They do not. And the score remains tied at a goal apiece.
Great run, great ball slipped in behind, and this is just, you dream of that as a striker, to have that ball lay up like that at a critical moment in the game. He's been red hot all year and missed that one by a foot.
A player that has 3 goals in the first 2 weeks, and in his mind thinks I should have had 4. Shane Wheat will come on here, and again, he is a player that we saw in Pittsburgh before he made the move out west. Replaces the youngster in Alder Sanchez, who was really good. And it was Sanchez's run to the byline that created the own goal that was scored against Indy back in the 31st minute. I want to welcome a new sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Thanks to our friends at 450 North Brewing. Innovation and creativity through libations. Akoba wins this one away from Wheat. Just behind Guenzati. Pay does just enough. Not just to head that ball back to Yannick Odell, but just nudge the forward enough before that ball was sent that direction to break up the timing of the play. Cicerone.
What a ball, my goodness.
Adegui at his feet. Ball's around dangerously. But Sacramento can do nothing with it. Now they have thrown numbers forward. Is there a chance to counter for the Indy 11? All kind of played Guenzati in awkward position, and nothing comes of it for Indy.
Yeah, that ball was just to keep it in play.
All eyes will start to drift towards the 4th official to see how much added time we will have. I don't think it's going to be a lot. We've had some substitutions, but obviously no goals in half number 2.
We got Ricketts sneaking in the backside.
Turf Monster makes a play there for the Indy 11. 4 minutes tacked on to the conclusion of this match. 4 minutes for either side to find a goal and potentially 2 additional points in this one.
It's Cicerone. Look at that pace in the 90th minute.
Jack Blake and Augie Williams are on the same page. Blake tracking back to not only play that ball to safety, but then try to relaunch the attack for the Indy 11. Some space to operate here. Let's thank our friends, the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. We build futures. The dulcet tones of Sean Sullivan in the background tonight's public address announcer, sharing with the Indy 11 fans that have braved the cold tonight. Every 4 minutes of this match, Pay guilty of the foul.
Yeah, you talk about those little nudges that he gives. That one was a little bit over the top.
That's a great play as long as it doesn't get called.
Yeah.
Nudges
outside of that,
nudges the ones they don't call. It's a foul when they call. The nudge is what you're going for.
You got to be careful. You got some isolation on the back line.
Great hustle by Williams in the 92nd minute. Forces that ball backward, if nothing else.
Hey, Barbier has been sensational tonight as well.
And Barbier missed the first match due to injury. Koba couldn't track that one down. Barbier went the full 90 last week and is in line to do the same again. Koba tried to draw the foul against Wheat, couldn't do it, and then touched it last. Unfortunately for the Indy 11, not much of the threatening variety here in half number 2. And obviously, I realize that your answer to this could change in the next 2 minutes, but if you're Sean McCauley, how do you feel about this one if it ends in 1-1?
This is the cream of the crop in the USL Championship. Sacramento Public has been so great for so long. So, you know, you talked about it. You went toe-to-toe with them. So you're thrilled because now you've shown the level and the quality that you're capable of. But to be fair, neither coach is going to walk off that field thrilled because there were chances to win it for both sides.
Frankly, one great chance in half number 2. It did not belong to the home team. Time is of the essence. The sands, the hourglass starting to sneak through a little more quickly. And stay tuned. We will have post-game coverage for you on Wish TV. A momentary bobble, but not enough around Augie Williams to really make a dent in that one. Koba trying to draw a foul, but again, it's been very balanced in terms of the calls tonight. And nothing from a foul standpoint has risen to the level of having to make that run or that play, as evidenced by those 2 whistles right there. And that's it. Sacramento will not be given the chance to score from that potential corner. We will stop it exactly at 94 minutes, and the points are shared tonight. So a pair of first half goals, an own goal against the Indy 11, then a follow-up tally by Augie Williams, his first in Indy 11 uniform. Indy now has played 3. They have won 1, they have drawn 1, they have lost 1. Sacramento has pulled points from each of their first 3 matches, 2 of the draw variety, and last week a win in Miami. Your final score in Indy, goal apiece for Sacramento and in the Indy 11. More in a moment on Wish TV.
AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Post-game coverage continues on here on Wish TV and ESPN Plus. A 1-1 draw. We'll dissect it from now until 9:30 here in Indianapolis with you. We already have player reviews standing by. So with it, let's get right to the pitch where Augie Williams joins us after scoring his first goal in an Indy 11 uniform. Augie, congratulations on that. Overall, your thoughts on you and your teammates' performance tonight?
Thank you. I mean, obviously, it was a really difficult match. We knew we were coming into a match against a tough opponent, so we were ready for it. And unfortunately, in my opinion, it felt disappointing to not get the 3 points, but it was a great shift by the lads.
Well, let's talk about the job that you did, though, and the ball that you got from Max Schneider. Walk us through what you saw in your first Indy 11 goal.
You know, we talked about it all training, to turn them around. Obviously, I knew that when the ball came, I had space, I had time. And, unfortunately, I was looking to turn them around, and unfortunately, it worked. And obviously, I got my goal, so it was a good thing.
That was a great finish and a great turn. When you're looking at that turn, are you checking over your shoulder to see the space? Are you feeling where that defender is? Are you reading the pass into you? What gives you that cue to make that first touch into the turn?
Just a little glance, trying to see if I have time, if I have space. So when I take that turn, I saw I have space. Obviously, he was trying to close me down. And I knew that my first instinct was to turn him around, and I had that space, and it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, electric pace when you're going to goal. It's fun to watch. The thing that is a great compliment to your game tonight was the pressure and the pace that you put on those balls played around the back line, the way you were able to close defenders, the way you chased down that ball back to the goalkeeper. What is the visual cue that you read? What is that thing that makes you say, okay, now's the one I'm going to chase?
We talked about it all preseason. We want to be an aggressive team. We don't want to be a team that can press, aggressive for them to feel our pressure, our tempo. Coming in a match like this today, we knew we needed to do that, to set the pace, especially for our first home game. And, that was a tone that we were looking for. And obviously, it worked perfectly for us tonight.
Augie, final thing before we let you go and get someplace a bit warmer than it is here on the sideline right now. You talk about how good Sacramento is. Obviously, in Charleston last year, you guys were cream of the crop, one of the best teams in the league. How close do you think you are to that here in Indianapolis? How good can your new team be with the Indy 11 this year?
We got a lot of talented guys around us, experienced players, players that have been in the league for a very quite long time now. So there's no difference. I'm here, to help the team win as much as I can. I have amazing players. I know that they can give me the ball when I make my run. So, I don't really feel the difference. I know, but like I said, I'm here, amazing team, and then we're looking forward to be a team that's really, really looking forward to run a really quite long race.
Augie, thank you very much for the time. We'll see you next Saturday night.
Thank you.
Augie Williams of the Indy 11, kind enough to join us in our post-game show. You're about to see some fireworks, by the way, celebrating this being the 11th year of Indy 11 soccer. It begins the draw. Maybe that is fitting. The first ever match in Indy 11 history was a 1-1 draw against the then Carolina Railhawks back on April the 12th. And maybe watching that match as a high schooler back then would be Cam Lindley. These days, we know him as a pro because he's now in his third different season with the Indy 11, and Cam joins us now. My friend, it is always good to chat with you. Overall, how you feeling after a 1-1 draw tonight?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a really good team that we just played against. They got their core guys have been together for a really long time, so. We took it as maybe that's a final down the road. So for us, we'll take a point, and obviously it's a good step forward. And just happy to be back in front of the fans again.
All right, don't be scared if the fireworks start going off behind you. So don't shrug if that's the case. You mentioned their core, and you guys are a unique mix. You got about half the team back from last year, half the guys are new. How's that gelling process coming along for you guys?
Yeah, it's good. We had a good preseason. Obviously, we went to Oakland, thought we played well to get a result. Didn't get one. Go to Memphis. That's always a tough game. Get a result there, and then get a result at home. So we brought in a lot of good players. You saw it tonight. 2 of them combined for the goal. So we're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
I agree with that. You take a look at the way Sacramento played tonight, where they got their wings out on both touch lines, and they're moving that ball side to side. How difficult is that for you guys? Because you're stepping in, you're pressing the ball on one side, then you got to make that shift all the way to the other side of the field.
Yeah, it's tough. You got to do the work, but they're so expansive. So when we do win it, we can go right down the middle, and that's how we scored the goal. But yeah, you put in the work. Coach prepared us well, and we had a few chances there. We should have maybe got another goal to win the game. So.
Can you have the option of either enjoying the fireworks or getting someplace warm? Either of them are good. We'll let you go.
Thanks.
Good to see you as always, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Go Golden Eagles.
That would be his Garin Catholic Golden Eagles, of which Cam is referencing. Always good to chat him up. We will hear from Sean McCauley at some point in time during the post-game. We'll show you more of those fireworks, and we've got some post-game hardware to hand out. But in terms of our game broadcast, we're wrapping it up from here. A 1-1 draw between the Sacramento Republic and the Indy 11. Again, a good litmus test early for the boys in blue. Post-game coverage continues next on ESPN Plus and Wish TV.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it.
So I had no job, no car, nobody to watch my son. And when I finally got a job interview, it was a half-hour away. I was just stuck, you know? Then one of my friends told me to call CareSource. I was like, my health insurance company?
We helped Becky with her resume, arranged daycare for her son, and even set up a ride to the interview that helped her get the job. CareSource is so much more than health insurance.
The Indy 11 are announcing a new signing to their squad. We can now confirm it's Max from Williams Comfort Air and Mr. Plumber. Max clearly has some training to do to get into shape by game day. Soccer skills and service you can rely on from a team you can trust. Both essential for a winning performance.
No fireworks in the second half for either team, but they were guaranteed to happen post-game as part of this 11th season opening celebration for the Indy 11. Again, against one of the better teams in the West, better teams in the entire league. Indy plays to a 1-1 draw against Sacramento. As promised, we're now joined by the Indy 11 head coach and Sean McCauley. Again, overall, Sean, result is one thing, but I know early in the season you're just as concerned with the quality of play from your team. What'd you see tonight?
I thought we gave everything we could, and we worked really hard, especially when we were out of the with the ball, you know, possession-wise. They're a really good team. But we gave them a game, and, you know, Seba hit the crossbar. Augie had the chance, you know, early in the second half, and, you know, and they had some chances as well. So I think, you know, maybe a draw is a fair result for both teams. We're still building what we want to build, but I don't want any team to come here and have it easy. I want to make sure that we're getting people's faces and really sort of make sure that this is a tough place to come and play.
No, one of the things you and I have talked about routinely is the depth that you have in your squad. So let's talk about the guy that actually had the assist for you tonight in Max Schneider. You knew he was good when you brought him in, but you've got such talent in the midfield. He hadn't been able to play the first two matches. He gets the assist tonight. Your thoughts about Max's debut performance for you?
Yeah, he was excellent, and we took him off because he started to tire. You know, he's been away for a couple of weeks, you know, with his visa. And, you know, with the travel and everything coming back in at the start of this week, he did start to lose his legs a little bit. But credit to all the players that came on. You know, I thought the three that came on the 60th minute, you know, gave us a little bit extra as well and put some doubt into the opposition's head. And that's where we have built a good squad, and we are going to use that squad all the way through. You know, people are going to get the chance. And sometimes, you know, it's up to everybody individually to come on and play the part.
When we talked yesterday, we talked about the 1v1 battles, and you said that one of the challenges that Sacramento is going to have is how they deal with our strikers when we play that ball up there. Can you talk a little bit about what Augie Williams provided as that target player?
I think he's always a threat even when he doesn't have the ball. I think that's where, you know, and I think if you speak to their back three, they'll all believe that they've been in a really tough game today, because early on you had Jack, Blake and Seba, you know, putting pressure on them and playing in little areas where it's difficult to mark. But with Augie, he's always playing on the back shoulder, and always looking to get in behind and run at goal. And as a defender, that's horrible to deal with. And I think all their defenders will think, you know, they've had a tough game today playing against Augustine. And then, like I said, when Tega came on and Elliott at the end, I thought they did a really good job.
You look at the way the Republic plays, where they stretch it touchline to touchline. We talked to Cam about this a moment ago, and he said, yeah, Coach had us prepared for the benefit to us when they do that is that ball that we're able to slice down the middle when it happens. What were things that you saw in the preparation for Sacramento that you had your guys keyed up for that? Because we saw every time that ball would come into Cam, come into Max, even Guenzati, their first look was down the field. Can they find that seam?
Yeah, we wanted Augustine to play really centrally against their central of the three players in the back line, and we knew that as soon as we win the ball there'd be spaces in between the back three, and we just wanted Augie to play in a 1v1 battle. I did think our quality wasn't, you know, there all the time. You know, we overhit a couple of passes, didn't play them correctly and accurately, but at least the ideas were there, and I think that's where, you know, the first goal came from. It was an immediate pass in to Augustine in that 1v1 area where he ended up obviously coming out on top and getting his goal.
All right, Sean, for your crew now, what do you want to see them improve on going into next week against Detroit?
I think next week's going to be a tough game as well, because Detroit are a hard-working team, and you know, they've been off to a good start, you know, so that's going to be a challenge for us. But if we work like that and show that effort and commitment and add a little bit more quality in the attacking third, then I think we'll be okay.
All right, one fun thing before we let you go, and again, maybe the chill of the air had an effect on the crowd tonight, but you got to experience the mic as the head coach of the Indy 11 for the first time. What was the atmosphere like here in the park for you this evening?
It was great, and I think the players really appreciated that as well, you know, especially when we got the goal, you know, to go a goal behind and they're still cheering us and still getting with us. That's what we've asked for at the very start of the season. We said, you know, there's going to be times when we're behind and we need them more than ever, and they got behind us and we got the goal, and then, you know, it's non-stop then all the way through the second half. Willing is to get another one, but I'm really pleased we didn't come under a defeat today, and you know, we move on to next week.
Sean, thank you. We'll see you next Saturday night.
Thanks very much. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Head coach Sean McCauley of the Indy 11 again played to a 1-1 draw against the Sacramento Republic. Stay tuned. More of the postgame show comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 soccer on Wish TV.
Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Indy 11 has the latest merchandise: shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, hats, and more. All at Indy11.com/shop.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Indy 11 theme nights are out of this world. Star Wars.
Fireworks continue here in downtown Indianapolis. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you on Wish TV, taking you to the bottom of the hour. A 1-1 draw between the Indy 11 and the Sacramento Republic. Again, if these two teams meet again this season, it's good for both. It means they are playing in the USL Championship final. Let's bring you now the lockdown play of the game. It is brought to us by Schleg. And the lockdown play belonged to Aiden Stanley. We saw the great way that he picked up the ball after a tackle last week for the Indy 11. Well, defensively had the job done again. A clearance that, frankly, helped give the Indy 11 a point tonight.
Right. You got Russell Cicerone 2 yards out with a one-touch ball. Aiden Stanley does the great job of just throwing his body in front of the ball.
And again, so many of the new names and faces for the Indy 11 are guys we have seen be really successful players elsewhere. We knew of Aiden playing in Miami. Right. I don't think we realized how quality of a player that he was until we've seen what he's done over the course of the last 3 weeks for this team.
Yeah, and you saw really a lot of what he brings. I mean, he gets up and down the field so well. I mean, it's something that we've been blessed with here in Indy is our wide backs getting forward well. But the one thing he brings is such a quality serve, and you saw that on that goal to Martinez, that assist to Martinez's goal last week.
I don't need to instruct you on this. You coached the college level for 20, 25 years. You want to have the deepest team, because obviously it gives you cover for injuries, but it also makes training valuable every day. Guys are knowing they are playing for starting time and for positions. And again, there's at least 6 starting caliber backs on this team. Stanley is one of them. There's guys that could take his job if for some whatever reason, that play starts to go south, somebody could take those minutes away from him.
Yeah, what you want is a competitive training environment, and that's what you get when you have this kind of depth.
Luis Felipe, that did not count. He was offside. Josh O'Brien, good service here, but again, couldn't find the range. And, corners and set pieces, frankly, didn't lead to a lot in this game. That was the best opportunity that came from one right there.
Right. And I tell you, you go back again. I know he got hurt, banged up a little bit in this match, but Callum Chapman-Page, what a job he did on him. And
here is the goal for Sacramento, and again, it comes off of Callum Chapman-Page. That does not take away from the quality of match he had for Indy tonight.
He's just a warrior. He's just so ferocious on every ball into a target. He was on their back contesting every touch.
Within 4 minutes, though, Indy had an answer against Schneider. The perfect ball in Williams. What's one he's done in this league for a long time.
What a turn. What a turn. There was nothing the defender could do. He came in on the left side. Augie turns it in the first touch to the right. Viniello comes out, cuts the space as well as he can. But that's why he's got 60-plus goals in his career, in his young career. He just knows how to finish.
And again, both of those goals coming in half number 1. This was the best look for Indy, but again, let's credit where it's due. Viniello had the angle covered. Not much that Williams could do. That header by Guenzati, maybe the best look Indy had in the second half. Our stat of the game, by the way, is brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. 16 interceptions by Sacramento again. They're really good. This is, I love the fact the guys felt disappointed by it. And yeah, it's so early in the season. This team is still kind of in its formational mode. You hung with one of the best teams in the league. That's a good sign going forward.
Right, and you spoke about it in the pregame about how they're returning 17 players this year.
This is a fully formed team you're playing.
That is, and you've got so many new players. Even though you've returned half your roster, if this match takes place in June or July and you've had another couple months to gel, it'll be interesting to see. I'd love to see this as a finals matchup for a lot of reasons, but it will be a more gelled Indy 11 team by that point.
Put this in perspective. Okay, Indy went to Sacramento last year, about 12 or 10 months ago. Got beat 3-1. You come back here, you play to a 1-1 draw. That you can take a lot from that if you're an Indy 11 fan. So the same question I gave Sean McCauley to end the conversation, I'll give to you.
Okay.
What's the next step for Indy? Again, they got the win in Memphis last week. Now, what's the lesson learned from tonight? You apply to DCFC coming in here next Saturday.
The lesson learned is that you're good. You're really good. And so when you start looking, you look at the Oakland match, and the guys talked about it afterwards, is you didn't get rewarded for the effort. Is you had multiple opportunities. You kind of controlled that game. You came away with the loss. You go into Memphis, quick 2 goals. You come away with your first 3 points. You're starting to build that. Now you're playing the best team in the league. And, we talked about 17 players. They're a formed, gelled team. You're still learning some of these players. Tega just came in. Tega just got signed.
Right.
You're still learning some of your players. And you hung with the class franchise in the USL Championship tonight. In a month, 2 months, it's going to be interesting.
Season number 11 at home is now officially underway. for the Indy 11. Our post-game show is about to wrap. We'll take this quick timeout. Come back with some final thoughts from a chilly Carroll Stadium here in downtown Indianapolis. 1-1, the final score tonight. Final thoughts in a moment as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.
The Indy 11 are announcing a new signing to their squad. We can now confirm it's Max from Williams Comfort Air and Mr. Plumber. Max clearly has some training to do to get into shape by game day. Soccer skills and service you can rely on from a team you can trust. Both essential for a winning performance.
Hi, this is Brad Ring.
Hey, 11 fans. Baby Bulldog checking in.
Playing for Indy 11 for those 3 years were some of my most proud moments throughout my career, my whole life. I was fortunate enough to play 5 years. Wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
I always have fond memories of winning a cup with you guys at the mic.
Hope you guys have a great year.
I just wanted to congratulate you guys on entering your 11th season, supporting your hometown team.
Indy forever.
And I will always be Indy forever.
So those 5 gentlemen you saw on your screen, not necessarily in order: Tyler Pasher, John Bush, Brad Ring, Daniel Keller, Wolfgang, Zach Steinberger of that group. Again, they were wishing the Indy 11 fans well and the team well. Now, Tyler, I think, will line up against the Indy 11 at some point in time this season. But again, those guys all highlights of years gone by. We will celebrate the 10th anniversary of the opening match in about 3 weeks. Indy actually will play, I think they'll play at home on April the 13th.
Correct.
So the actual anniversary is on Friday, April the 12th. So this is the start of year number 11, year 8 in this building. Of course, 3 years in between in terms of Lucas Oil Stadium. And again, Brad, not just the handsome fellow that provides insight and analysis on the broadcast now, but the Vice President of Marketing and Club Growth. What are some of the celebrations the team has planned for year 11 all season long?
Well, you saw the fireworks tonight. You mentioned April 13th, which is almost the 11th exact date. That is Star Wars night. And actually, there's some stuff going on with IMS that night as well. So we've got an unbelievable themes and promo stuff going on. And then in the 11th anniversary, we've got 11 matches where the ticket price matches the date. You could actually get in here tonight for $3.23. Next week for $3.30. It's incredible.
Now, my question is on Star Wars night, are we going as Hans and Chewie? Are we going as Stormtroopers?
I like how you did
Princess
that.
Leia. There's a lot of ways we can go with this. How are we going to go with this?
I like how you did that. You said, are we going as Han, and you pointed to yourself, and Chewie to me.
If one of us is Harrison Ford of the equation, it's going to be me on that front. So, Indy11.com/promos is where you can find this information all season long. And again, let me stress this again. You could have come to tonight's game for $3.23. It was chilly. I don't blame you. If you're sitting at home and watching on Wish TV, great. The forecast is better for next week. $3.30 gets you into the building. And again, as we have one of the best seats in the house, there is no bad seat in this house at Carroll Stadium.
And you talked about it tonight. It was $3.23, and there is a massive price hike next week. It goes up to $3.30. That's right. There's no reason to not be at the mic next week.
Again, Detroit City FC, a team that we know very well. And here are some of the, games to look forward to. Orange County and Miami play later tonight. That's a free stream on CBS Sports Galazo. One game tomorrow, Monterey Bay and the all-new Rhode Island FC. Indy will see them twice this year. They'll go to Rhode Island for the first time on July 5th. Next Saturday, My Indy TV and ESPN Plus, and you will hear us talk about this, and frankly, everybody in the league will talk about this. It means more for us. LIP AFC goes to CBS in 2 weeks on April the 6th. It is a 4 o'clock game. It is Lynn Family Stadium, and obviously it is a sign of the great facility that Lou City has, but also the great rival they have in the Indy 11. That was the game that was selected to be the debut on network television for the USL Championship.
Yeah, it's an awesome honor to both teams, but it's such great respect that's being shown to the USL Championship that this is such a growing and you look at every year the number of tickets, the fans, everything is growing in this league, and that's trending all in the right direction, and adding CBS as a network partner only adds to that.
There are 3 games, as we would call it, on Big CBS this year. One of them is the championship. The first one is Indy and Lou City. Again, that is 2 weeks from tonight. The Indy 11 will be playing 7 days from today. That's their first game against Eastern Conference competition, and perhaps their other biggest rival in Detroit City. That'll do it for tonight's broadcast. Thanks for joining us tonight. We hope you're with us all season long here on Wish TV.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
So I had no job, no car, nobody to watch my son. And when I finally got a job interview, it was a half hour away. I was just stuck, Then one of my friends told me to call CareSource. I was like, my health insurance company?
We helped Becky with her resume, arranged daycare for her son, and even set up a ride to the interview that helped her get the job. CareSource is so much more than health insurance.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
AES Indiana is dedicated to providing you with smart energy solutions that power our lives. Our energy efficiency programs help you save energy and money. From rebates on lighting and smart thermostats to appliance pickup and recycling, you can take advantage of cleaner, more cost-effective energy solutions right here, right now. IPL is now AES Indiana. We are accelerating the future of energy together.